Powered by Virginia Radio.
Hello, folks, and thanks for joining us here at Powered by Virginia. My name is Big Al. I'm the HNIC of the podcast. Let me say something. Now, I am really excited about my next guest, and as you all know, we're doing a segment called Community Heroes, and I met this particular gentleman at an open mic, and everybody was singing and dancing, and he was actually painting. I was like, what? Didn't know why he was there. But he was painting, and man, this guy is really talented. Okay? So I'd like y'all to take the time to meet and say hello to my main man, Ladre Daniels. I call him the artist. How you doing, Dre?
How y'all doing? Peace and blessings.
And Ladre, listen, man, thanks for taking the time to come, man. We had a little wait, I know it took a little while to get here, man, but it's worth the wait. You know, folks, before we get started, man, what I want to do is just show you guys some of the stuff that he does. Okay, it's gonna take about 15 seconds to do that. We're gonna be talking still, but this is what he can do. He's an unbelievable artist, and I've never seen anybody. You were at the open mic, man. You were just standing there, just working. I mean, like it was nothing. You were drawing. First of all, my brother is an artist too, man, and he can just kind of draw a straight line free-handed, and it's nothing to him.
Well, it's in my nature. It's my affinity. Some people just have a particular thing that they gravitate to, and art is just mine. I was invited out to that open mic, to perform. I didn't necessarily have a song or anything like that, but what I do is paint, and I draw.
And he paints well.
So I figured I'd bring my paintbrush and my canvas out to perform,
So you did perform, but you did it your way. I
did it my way,
Listen, when did you get started from doing this? When did you know you had a talent for it?
Well, it's been in me since my childhood. I grew up getting in trouble in school for drawing during class time. And a lot of my childhood friends know me for that, which is pretty funny. But I've been formally trained halfway, and also I learned a lot of things by myself. I've been doing this professionally for the past 10 years, as far as selling commission artwork and doing murals and entering things in art exhibitions, being a full-time artist.
So you do this full-time?
Well, yes. I do it as much as I can, which is pretty much full-time.
Okay. All right. So you do oil paintings, you do drawings, you do commission work. I mean, you pretty much do everything.
Yes, sir.
From what I saw, and you do it well.
Thank you.
You do it well. And once again, by the way, if they wanted to see you, do you have a Facebook page or a Twitter page, or where can they see your artwork?
Yes. So my main page that I use is my Instagram page. It's called Ladre says _cope. And on my Instagram and my bio is my website. That's ladre.store, ladre.design-store. I'm sorry. The link is in the bio, and I also have my Facebook page, which is just my name, Ladre Daniels, at Facebook.
If you guys get a chance, man, just peruse it. And I'm positive you're gonna love what you see. A lot of us are going to photographers, and this guy paints, and when he finishes painting, it looks like a photograph. I'm not kidding you on that. I'm not kidding you. Okay, just go to the website and just take a look at what he does. Okay, I thought just to back up for a minute, you said that you got in trouble for uh, for painting. How did you get in trouble for that?
So back in elementary school, um, during I guess the time that everyone was working, when I would get done with my work pretty fast, I just take out my notebook and start drawing anime characters and drawing like Dragon Ball Z characters.
All right.
You know, uh, back then, anime had just gotten big in the United States. We had just got things like Pokemon and Dragon Ball and things like that, and that was a large part of my childhood coming up. That was the thing that kind of propelled me into illustrating and into drawing, and then eventually in high school I started painting. But what most of my childhood friends know me for is getting in trouble in school for drawing during class time. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was expecting to say that one of the teachers said, "Oh boy, he has a talent. Let's work on his talent," but that didn't happen.
Well, a lot of them cited it. A lot of them realized like, hey, he's pretty good, but this is math class, buddy. We got to focus on this arithmetic first.
Okay. But you didn't get sent to the office or anything like that. Or?
Nah, it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
I got conduct notices. They had to let my parents know. So I got in trouble at home too about it, but I still got my grades together. I was never a bad student.
All right. That's pretty cool. Now listen, so you knew when at an early age that you had this particular talent, okay? Give me the process. You're in elementary school, middle school, high school, and grad. What made you say, "Hey, give me the steps as far as becoming an actual artist"? Because I know a lot of artists, but they're not actual artists because they don't do it full time.
Yes.
But they call themselves artists.
Yes.
I know a guy right now that gets commissioned every once in a while. A college commissioned him years ago, and he does very good. He's a very good artist, but he goes, "I don't want to do it full time."
Well, I can say it all relies on where your interests are. If you have a strong passion and love for this interest, the only thing next is to show that. And if you constantly show that, trying to be a full-time artist or not, you're gonna produce the artwork that you desire, and that's basically what I do. I call myself a professional artist, but I do the art I do because I love it, and as long as I'm doing that, it's gonna be seen, and I don't have to really worry too much about how it sells, But like you said, if you want kind of like a narrative of how I kind of got started. Early in school, I came up drawing cartoons. I was interested in trying to be an illustrator for cartoons and for books and for comics. I would make up stories. I would make up my own characters based off of the design of other cartoons. And from there, I eventually got into fine art. I got into visual art in a formal way in high school. I met someone who's very close to me now. That's a local art hero. His name is Clayton Singleton. Give a shout out to him real quick. He taught me the majority of what I know as far as the fundamentals of painting, acrylic painting. And I can attribute a lot of my initial skill for painting in itself to him and to his tutelage. And from there, that's what sparked the interest to do this as a professional. Watching him be a professional painter or artist, as well as being a teacher, it kind of inspired me to do this thing full time.
That is fascinating. Now, my understanding is that you have a family.
I do.
Okay. Now I know you're saying that Clayton Singleton inspired you, but I've been married myself, and I know there's a power behind the throne. Okay? In other words, how helpful has your wife been?
Oh my God.
Your family. How are they supporting you with this? Because you gotta have some support.
They're my anchors, my total anchors, and I don't know, what I would be like without them in my life right now, especially my wife. It's funny because everyone who knows me knows my wife too, and the fact that she's also an artist. And we met in high school.
Don't give her a shout out now.
Yeah, we met in high school actually right where I started to take art seriously, and we both have an affinity for painting and for creating things, and she's always a large inspiration to my pieces and to the ideas and conceptions of what I'm doing with my artwork, and I love her and I appreciate her.
What's her name?
Jamie Daniels.
Okay,
They
you
doing
got to shout her out.
Jamie Lou. Shout out to you, baby.
Jamie Lou, thank you so much for allowing your husband to share his gift with us. We really appreciate that. You know better than anybody how good he is. So thank you so much for doing that. He couldn't do it without you. You know, a lot of times when you're in a position like you're in, Ladre, the wife can shut it down. You know, ask Tom Brady, ask Tiger Woods. You know, a wife can just shut it down.
For sure.
You know,
I'm so thankful.
And then you walk around frustrated for 20 years.
Oof.
You know, but man, hey, you didn't do that. She didn't do that. She's allowed you to spread your wings, man. And we are all grateful here at the 757.
Yeah, she's a blessing for sure.
Know. Now, tell me this. Now, we're talking off camera, and what has this evolved into?
Well, this is pretty much evolved into me taking my fine art or visual art and putting it on a different type of pedestal than traditional standards. I love being a part of exhibits and shows and having my stuff in like museums and things, but I'm just trying to do something more with my artwork and put it on a larger scale for people to see.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said, but you're already being shown in galleries, right?
Yeah, in some galleries, like some local galleries, and on the East Coast. I would like to make it in some other, namely galleries too. But right now, I would like to get the notoriety as an artist for myself.
Okay. Now, have you had any shows that highlight you?
In particular, yes, I had one recently, a couple months ago, at this store called Community Love off of Azalea Garden Road in Norfolk. I had a floating art exhibit where I took most of my latest pieces from 2022, which were a lot of hip hop pieces, and we took some fishing wire, hung them in the rafters in the ceiling to create like a floating gallery in there.
Okay.
And that was cool. That was really dope. I loved it.
Now you do a lot of hip hop things and so forth. Where does your art come from? What are you trying to represent with your art?
Well, I depict a lot of hip hop because just like I spoke on the anime growing up. Hip hop has been a large part of who I am and my expression in itself. I just love the different flavors and the different personalities that can express the realest things in life that we experience, and my particular art form, which isn't, rapping or singing or making beats, it's the other side of hip hop that will fall into the graffiti area. I paint and I draw and I illustrate, and I use hip hop to pretty much depict the things that are in my heart. So as, they do with the hip hop lyrics.
It's funny, back in the day when I lived in New York City, man, we had guys running around called taggers.
Yeah.
And some of these guys would get on the side of the subway, and they were spraying overnight. Man, they had some beautiful artwork.
Yes, yeah.
Beautiful artwork.
Graffiti artists.
And hats out to you, graffiti artists, man. You're not appreciated like you should be.
Nah.
They were trying to arrest you. I'm not sure why. You were defacing public property, but still. They should have given you a job because
for sure,
because you guys were just knocking it out, man. And that's back when they were doing graffiti on subways, they were doing it on walls, they were doing it on floors, anything that had a smooth surface, and they were just doing it. And all they had were cans. I mean, what they had cans.
They just had cans.
I saw a guy do it one time, and this was before you were born, and man. The way that materialized when all he had was different. He had cans, man. He didn't have a paintbrush, just
some bad boys.
And I was like, God. Now Now those guys, I mean, that's talent,
Sure.
But but I respect the fact that you want that you're trying to get that you're trying to expand it. Now when you say expand, are you saying that you want it to be at a larger in a larger venue or?
So when I say expand, namely, my new brand that I have is called COPE. It's called COPE, COPE, Cultivating Our People Every Day. It's kind of an umbrella for different expressions of visual arts. I want to bring in photographers. I want to bring in, videographers and people who create art with different mediums other than the painting and illustration that I do. And the cultivating our people every day part, it speaks to the empowerment and self-love that's exuded through hip-hop and through, I guess you could say, Black popular culture. Black people, you know our struggle, you know what we've been through, what we come to now, and it's like, despite all of that, we just the dopest creatures on this planet,
I like that. Lau, show us some pictures again, would you? Let's check out some of those pictures, man. Let's not call them pictures. Check out some of the talent.
Which one you want to show them first, Ladre?
So Kendrick Lamar one.
Kendrick Lamar. That's when they had the thorns in his head.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was.
The one without me.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Big Al, you pull the page up on your phone, you can see it.
Page.
Go to the Power Bar Reading so you can see the picture. So, tell us about this picture, Leandre.
So this particular painting was the reveal painting at my floating art gallery that I had a couple of months back. It's an oil painting of Kendrick Lamar promoting his new album from this year called Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. This album really was important because he didn't do like a big commercial album like most hip hop artists normally do. This album was extremely personal, and it took him about 5 years to come back and didn't even do an album. But that whole time he was soul searching and living life, and made this album based off of the realness of that, instead of focusing on trying to impress a bunch of people or impress the fans. It's like the artistry does that in itself, and he just came back with something so impactful. So I felt very compelled to do a oil painting attributed to his album.
Okay, let's look at one more.
Okay.
Guys, I got to tell you, while we're waiting for that, listen, go to the website and check out Mr. Ladre Daniels. This talent like this in the 757 is just unbelievable. And I should say 757-804. It's unbelievable. A lot of people don't think we have this kind of talent. I know I didn't.
Yes, it's many of us out there.
But I'm learning every day that there are other Ladre Daniels out there, that are trying to do really good work, really quality work, and we need to support them.
Absolutely.
He's a full-time artist. Okay, he's not an artist and then he goes to the shipyard and he's a full-time artist.
Well, I do have a day job, but I do my art for full time.
Okay. So and you have the support to do that.
Yes.
Okay. And it's tough being an artist out here. It is tough being an artist to make a living, earn a living out here, making everybody thinks about Van Gogh and all that kind of stuff. Van Gogh didn't make money until he died.
Yeah.
So let's understand what art really is, and let's appreciate it while he's here.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now you were talking about cultivating.
Let him talk about this picture.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the picture. Tell me about this picture that you have that we have up here.
So those are two paintings actually on the yellow wall,
Okay.
which I felt complemented the painting very well, given the colors. The top painting is a painting of Nas from the "If I Ruled the World" video. I was watching it and I took a screenshot kind of like a part that I wanted, and I put it together in those particular colors. I normally paint very, very detailed, but I wanted to do something that looked like a comic almost. And then the one under it is a painting of A Tribe Called Quest, which is just my favorite hip hop group ever. I got references for days, but I just felt like I needed to do another tribute to them during my hip hop show.
I like it. I like it a lot. This is beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
And as I said before, I've actually watched him do a painting that looked just like a photograph once he was done.
Mm-hmm.
There's a photograph that you have. I think it's you and your daughter.
Yes, yes.
You know, that was amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
You know, it was basically a self-portrait.
Yes, it was a selfie from my phone.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a painting. I mean, like a picture.
Thank you.
Like your phone went click, and then you just kind of, you know, because I looked at it, I said, oh, okay, that's a photo. That's a wait a minute. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You know,
that one was a challenge for myself. I normally paint everybody else. I don't paint myself or you know, people close to me that much. But my daughter said, "Daddy, I want you to paint a picture of us." I said, "Okay." You know,
and your daughter's beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, and think about this, guys. You know, wouldn't you want to have a painting of your loved one, your children, a portrait painted that looks like a photograph that'll last you pretty much forever?
Yeah.
You know, and if they want to do that, how will they contact you?
You can contact me on Instagram at Ladre says_cope, or you can email me at ladredaniels@gmail.com, or you can hit up my actual website, cope.store-design. Either any one of those ways will work, but I'm always open for business.
Hey, listen, like I said, you know, we have to start giving our people that are talented, that are dedicated, we ought to start giving them more business. We ought to start giving them more attention, and that's what this podcast is doing. And with Powered by Virginia, is giving them more attention. Okay, and what I like you to do is I like you to go ahead and tell your friends about this. I like you to go ahead and send this podcast out to other people. Share it with people. Let them know that we have talent right here in Virginia.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of us.
And by the way, even though we're in Virginia, we're an internet radio station, so no matter where you are, you can reach Ladre.
Yes.
Okay? So it doesn't matter whether you're in England, Africa, you know, South America. It doesn't matter where you are. You can reach him, and he can do work for you.
And I can get that art to you.
He'll get the art to you. Don't you worry about that. Okay? But that's something that we want to do here, is to promote talent just like Ladre.
Absolutely.
You know,
Thank you.
and listen, man, I just want to. I had one more question too, which is, how long does it take you to do a portrait? If someone were to commission you to do, let's say, a portrait of themselves, how long does that take?
It varies. I like to get the size that they want. Normally, it depends on the size of the canvas. And the medium that they want it in. The medium refers to what kind of paint. If you wanted an oil paint, or if you want acrylic paint, or if you wanted a watercolor paint. But normally my main medium is acrylic paint. And a portrait, you know, of one person, that could, you know, would take me about a week or 2 weeks if it's a moderate size canvas. On a pretty big canvas, like a 30 by 40, it'll take me about 2 weeks. Give or take.
Now, I know this wouldn't happen to you because you're too good, but what if someone says, that doesn't look like me?
Well, believe it or not, I had to go through that.
Really?
I can't believe that. To get where I am. I've done some portraits that weren't so good. You know, I'm not afraid to admit that.
And you say they weren't so good.
You know, and was confirmed by the customer. but I've learned that has not happened. That's only happened once. I can say that's the only reason why I'm proud to say that, because that's only happened once in my so far professional career as an artist, and that mainly was due to the picture that I was given. You know, when I'm doing a portrait, I'll request the most clearest picture that you can possibly give me, so I can get the rendering that you require for the painting. Because if the picture isn't clear, it's kind of hard for me to collect the information I need to make the painting.
Right. All right. Well, listen, this is a joy of me, man. I'm just giddy because I've seen his work and I know what he can do. You're seeing his work right now. You know, do we have anything else to show, Lau? All righty. Listen, I want to thank you for taking the time, Ladre, to come here, man. Like I said, I know you had to step over here and go through traffic and all that stuff, man.
I made it.
But he's worth the wait.
Yes.
He's also worth the contact too. Okay? When you want work, when you need an artist, when you want someone that's good, provides quality, look no further than Mr. Ladre Daniels.
Thank you.
Okay? Look no further than that. All righty? You know, take our show, share it with others, okay? You might be someone that wants to go ahead and you may have a grandmother, and you might want to get her portrait, before she's no longer with you, so you can remember her. You want your children, you.
Yep.
There are all kinds of things. I know a guy that wanted to get his car painted because it was the car of his dreams.
Oh man,
a Mustang.
Ooh.
Yeah, he had a Mustang, but
Okay.
But whatever it is,
Yes. If you need a mural for your business, if you need something in your home on the walls, I do that too.
And you can request it. You don't have to go shop for it. You can request what you want. All right. So if you're a business and you want to request something that ties into your business, talk to Mr. Ladre Daniels.
Yes.
Okay, he can get that done for you. Okay, you guys work it out, etc. For what will work, and he'll get it done for you. All righty. But listen, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me. Come over here, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. And listen, you were listening to Powered by Virginia. This is the Let Me Say Something podcast. My name is Big Al. I am the HNIC. We're gonna have Loud play my music, and we are out of here, folks. And thank y'all.
Virginia Radio.